Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. What a journey that has been, as we have just learned about the things God's given us and how we just trust Him more and more. That's what it's all about, trusting Him more and more. Every single day there's opportunities that come at us that just remind us to run back to Him and trust Him. We can trust Him with our physical needs. We can trust Him with financial needs. We can trust Him with relationship needs. We can trust Him with career decisions, because all we got to do is ask for wisdom and He gives it. I was studying about wisdom a little bit this morning, as a matter of fact. He handles our spiritual needs. He's got us covered. He says He sustains our soul. That's body, soul, and spirit. We're good. We're in good hands. So we can trust God and just peace out. So that's all I got. This week we've been in 2nd John. We've been looking at 2nd John, and we have made it to verse 3. Yes, because we did 1 and 2 yesterday. Verse 3 today says this. I love this verse. Okay. Grace, mercy, and peace will be with us from God the Father and from Jesus Christ, the Son of the Father, in truth and love. That verse covers everything. Truth, love, grace, mercy, and peace. 5 things right there in that one little verse that are just immeasurable. They are ours, period, right? And that's our foundation right there of our whole believing in God, in a sense, right? I was going to focus on grace, mercy, and peace. I forgot that truth and love were mentioned here too. It says all of these are ours. These are ours. Grace, mercy, and peace are ours. And here's what I love about it. They're ours without measure. There's not a measure to it. It's never going to run out. As a matter of fact, grace, come on, we talk about this all the time, right? Grace, Paul says, please take this away from me. He says, I begged God 3 times to remove this thorn in the flesh. And there's so many different things. I was reading something off the wall just last week on what they thought the thorn in the flesh was for Paul, right? So many different guesses as to what that is. Paul just doesn't tell us. That we've got some pretty good ideas from Scripture. He doesn't tell us, but he did know that 3 times he asked God to take it away. Take this away. Take this away. Get this out of here. And God didn't do it. God didn't go, okay, you've asked 3 times, now I'm going to do it. Let me just get that out of your life. I know that's uncomfortable, right? Let me just take that away. No, God didn't say that. God said, my grace is enough for your thorn in the flesh. My grace is enough for the burden of the churches that He felt in His spirit to care for the churches. My grace is enough for whatever you're facing today, Paul. It's always going to be enough. Forever. And then Paul changes his tune and says, now I'm going to be happy for my weaknesses, because in those weaknesses I realize that God is strong through me. I have the grace to go through this situation. All of us have situations. We can't measure them. We try to sometimes. A lot of times we get all, I'm so this, I'm so that, I just can't believe all this. And then we hear somebody else's story and we go, well, I don't have it so bad. Yeah, I am so sorry. You got a lot worse. When we start comparing, we can easily compare to someone else and go, ours isn't that bad. We can compare to someone else and go, yours isn't that bad. Mine's worse. But we don't need to do that. What we need to do is take our situations to Him. Why? Because He has grace enough for whatever our situation looks like, whether it's physical, spiritual, or even in the soulish realm, we're doing with our emotions and our feelings like grief and things like that. He's got us covered, period. Then He says, mercy. We talked about mercy a lot too. Think about Lamentations 3, where He says His mercies are brand new every single morning. And there's no morning with God. They are refreshed for our mornings. When we get up in the morning, we're ready to take on a new day. We've got more than enough mercies, God's mercy, to take us through that day. We can count on it. And then He says peace. Come on, that's our foundational scripture here. That's why we started this thing over 6 years ago, right? Jesus said, I'm leaving you my peace. I'm giving you my peace. It's not a peace the world gives. It's not temporary. It's not a substitute. It's not plastic. It's a real peace, tangible in your soul's peace that you can count on, so you don't have to be troubled. He says, so don't let your heart be troubled. So we don't read the rest of that passage there, right? So don't be troubled, because I got you covered, right? That's what Jesus was saying to His disciples. So in all of these things, let me see that it says that right there. Yeah, listen to this. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. And in that same verse, listen to what Jesus said in that same verse. Do not let your heart be troubled and don't let it be fearful. Now that's action words. Don't let. We've talked about let a lot, right? Let the peace of God reign in your heart, right? Go back to his mercies. Let his mercies have control of you today. You know, we talked about letting peace reign, but he's saying don't let. Not peace. Don't let trouble reign in your heart. Don't let worry reign in your heart. And I'm saying that, and it's easy words, but it's hard to do sometimes. And look, I'm just gonna be honest. Some days I'm wringing my hands, right? And I know I got peace. I got to figure out how to go back and let it reign and not let the trouble reign. But when we let peace reign in our heart, trouble hasn't got any room, right? There's no room for trouble when we are letting the peace of God reign in our heart. And like I said, that's easy to say, but that can be really hard to do. But it's in the same verse. We stop at my peace, let's see, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives, give I to you. But right in verse 27, it goes on to say, do not let your heart be troubled. Don't let it be fearful. That's a lot of work. Letting his peace reign. Don't let your heart be troubled. And Jesus didn't put any disclaimers on that, and he didn't put any explanations on that. But that can be hard. I'm just being honest. When something comes at you, no matter what realm it's in in this natural world, when something comes at you, it's hard to say. Fear, you can't reign. Trouble, I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to wring my hands. I'm going to trust in God's peace. That's easy to read, but it is some work to put it into action, right? It can be really some big work. But right here now in 2 John, he says that his grace, mercy, and peace will be with us. And we can say continually, he just said that the truth abides in us and will be with us forever. And he doesn't even end it, it's a semicolon. Then he says grace, mercy, and peace will be with us. We can assume from that those will be with us forever too. We're not going to wake up one morning and have a lot of trouble and no peace. We're not going to wake up one morning and have a lot of worries and no grace. We're not going to wake up some morning and have all kinds of situations coming at us and not have his mercies brand new waiting for us in that day, because he refreshes those mercies. They're you know how frustrating refresh is when you're watching a movie? That's frustrating, but not when you're in a life situation. When you get up, that mercy is just constantly on refresh. It's constantly pouring into our lives. So his peace is constantly on guard over our hearts, and we've just got to let it rain and not let trouble and worry reign. And that's a lot, but that's a lot to think about today. So think about that today. How do I let peace reign and not let worry reign and not let trouble reign and not let thinking about trouble and my problems and all this reign? I'm going to turn those off and go back to God's peace. I'm going to turn off the situations that I feel like I can't handle. I'm going to give them to him and let his grace take over in my heart. And I'm going, what's the last one? It's peace. And I'm going to purposefully trust his peace and keep going back to his peace all day long. No matter what comes up, go back, grab his peace, grace, and mercy. That's a diamond. That's a threefold cord is not easily broken, as Solomon said. Grace, mercy, and peace. Those can get us through any day, any pandemic, any situation. We just have to keep going back and letting it rain, because he's got us covered. And that's why I'm going to peace out today. I hope you join me. Let's peace out today. Have a great day, you guys. I'll see you again tomorrow.